The film begins with a girl waking up in a dark place. She gets up, brushes her teeth, and then we see her opening a hatch in a forested area, holding a sniper rifle. A plane appears, and a person descends from it. She shoots him, and he falls dead. We then cut to a man named Levi, who wakes up startled, gets dressed, and drives his car to the beach, where he stays until morning. He receives a message on his phone instructing him to report to Camp Pendleton on the 6th day. Next, we see Levi driving to the camp. Upon arrival, he meets a woman with a high-ranking position in the military. They sit and talk, and she asks him questions about his life and work. It becomes clear that he is retired, but she tells him she has a reason for wanting him to return to work. We then return to the girl, who visits her father's grave in a cemetery. They talk, and it's evident that her father is suffering from a serious illness. She tells him that Rabinovich summoned her to an early morning meeting in Moscow and that her communications will be cut off for at least a year. She asks if he went to the doctor she booked an appointment for, and he replies that he did, but there's no hope. The cancer is consuming his body. He tells her that if he doesn't die before February 14th, Valentine's Day, he will kill himself on that day and be buried next to her mother. He asks her to light a candle for him wherever she is on that day. We then shift to a man sleeping on a plane, who turns out to be Levi. He wakes up, and a woman approaches him, asking for his phone and watch. He hands them over, and she tells him about the location where he will be dropped off. When he asks where exactly they are, she refuses to answer. Levi exits the plane and heads to the designated location, where he meets a man who introduces himself as JD, and tells Levi that he will be taking over his duties. Levi arrives at a place divided into two sides, with a middle area filled with thick white smoke. Through his conversation with JD, Levi learns that he has been working here for a year and gets acquainted with the nature of the job and the tasks he will perform over the next year. We learn that this place is called the Trench. Levi asks about the concealments, and JD explains that they are a type of satellite transmitter distributed every kilometer along the edge of the trench, sending false signals to hide the trench from spy satellites. JD also tells him that in the event of an invasion, a protocol called the Stray Dog Protocol will be activated, and if he hears the gas alarm, he must run immediately because the place will explode. JD also informs him that in the late 1940s, 3 full battalions were sent on horseback to clear the trench, but not a single person returned. After that, a strategy of containment was adopted. The next day, JD leaves the location, and Levi goes to the pickup point for the plane that will take him after his service is complete. The plane arrives, and a crew member asks for his name and password. He replies, JD. They thank him for his service, then shoot him and throw him out of the plane. We then see the men who spoke with Levi at the camp informing the woman who arranged Levi's assignment that the handover has been completed successfully. We transition to October, where we see Levi carrying out his daily tasks as usual, ensuring everything is in order. He looks through his binoculars at the other side of the trench and sees another person performing the same duty. He realizes that this person is the girl who was saying goodbye to her father at the beginning of the film. We see the girl celebrating her birthday alone and deciding to communicate with Levi. She fires a shot into the air, catching Levi's attention. He looks at her through his binoculars and sees her writing him a note asking for his name. He responds, telling her his name is Levi, and suggests they celebrate her birthday together. They raise their glasses, and she plays some music, asking Levi to dance with her. He declines, saying he's not good at dancing. She asks what he's good at, and he replies that he's an excellent marksman. She challenges him to demonstrate, and he shoots the glass she's holding. She then shoots the glass he's holding. Suddenly, the girl notices something strange near Levi and stops the music, pointing it out to him. They discover strange creatures attacking them and begin shooting at them, eventually defeating the creatures. During the fight, the girl is injured in the shoulder by an explosion, but with Levi's help, they continue fighting. After the battle, she tends to her wound and writes to Levi that this was the best birthday she's ever had. Levi laughs. The next day, Levi repairs the wall damaged by the explosion. We transition to December, where Levi celebrates New Year's Eve and decorates the place. He hangs up a sign that says, "Merry Christmas, Darsa," the girl's name. We see them communicating through binoculars and enjoying each other's company despite the distance. On February 14th, Valentine's Day, we see Darsa sitting, devastated, lighting a candle in memory of her father, who told her he would kill himself on this day if he hadn't died before then. Levi sends her a message expressing his sympathy. Levi reads a sentence written on the wall that says, "Only those who dare to cross boundaries can discover the extent of their abilities." He decides to visit Darsa and builds a rocket attached to a rope to cross to the other side of the trench. He succeeds and meets Darsa, giving her a flower. She tells him he won her over with his charm, and he jokes that the rope stopped halfway, forcing him to use his hands to complete the journey. Darsa invites him to shower and brings him clean clothes, but she takes the clothes far from the bathroom, putting him in an awkward situation. Levi laughs at the situation, and they spend a pleasant time together, getting to know each other better and falling in love. The next day, Levi returns to his tower via the rope, but the strange creatures attack the explosives in the wall, causing an explosion that cuts the rope, and Levi falls. Darsa decides to go down to rescue him and falls into a river. Levi wakes up to find himself hanging from a parachute in a tree, with a large worm trying to devour him. He shoots it and escapes. He falls into a sticky substance, and creatures try to grab him, but Darsa arrives to rescue him. They discover that the creatures attacking them are actually the lost battalions sent in the 1940s. They continue searching for an exit and enter a church where they find skeletons of people who died long ago. Small creatures appear and attack them, so they shoot at them and escape. They discover that the place is a secret laboratory and find a recording of a doctor talking about a secret alliance between Eastern and Western nations to conduct experiments on human, animal, and plant DNA to create super soldiers. They decide to destroy the place and throw a rope between their towers to escape. Levi says goodbye to Darsa and returns to his tower, where he receives a call from the woman who brought him to the location, ordering him to kill Darsa. Levi pretends to agree but refuses to carry out the order. The leadership discovers that Levi and Darsa have gone rogue and decides to send a team to kill them. Levi and Darsa escape and destroy the concealments hiding the trench, causing the entire place to explode. Levi and Darsa survive the explosion, and Darsa decides to isolate herself for 5 days to ensure she isn't infected. She then goes to the meeting place she agreed on with Levi, but he doesn't show up. She opens a letter he left for her and finds a poem expressing his love for her. In the end, we see Darsa working at a cafe, and Levi arrives, ordering a rabbit pie, writing his order on a piece of paper as they used to do in the tower. They reconcile, laugh together, and the film ends with them together.